Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good? What's good? What's good? So what we have right now, the Federal Reserve dropped rates by the expected 25 basis points. There was no surprise there, none whatsoever. What did happen? Oh, well, then you had House Republicans actually scuttle, because they already had the deal. They scuttled a bipartisan budget deal that would have gotten them, I think, through the inauguration, at which point the new regime could have stepped in and done what they wanted to do. But instead, 7 days before Christmas, and we've got a government that could actually shut down. Last time I checked, there's only supposed to be one president at a time, not two, right? And I think he's overstepping. I really do think he's overstepping. But House Republicans are letting him do it, so it is what it is. But 7 days before Christmas, and we could have a government shutdown that could affect tens of thousands of government workers. It can affect all kinds of things. Don't get your check this month. You know, if you're on Social Security or Medicare or something like that, yeah, that's not going to be cute. That's not going to be cute. But, you know, him and his cronies don't care because they're all billionaires, right? But they're just like us. Everybody says they're just like us. I don't mean to be political, but this has a tremendous economic impact. Right now, people are worried. I know more than a few government workers, and they are worried. I mean, 7 days before Christmas, and you've got an economic impact that's literally rocking this country at the moment. Everybody was blaming the federal government, the Federal Reserve, for dropping by 25 basis points and, just having hawkish speak. Yeah, that's not it. That usually occurs. What usually happens is you get the rate cut, it goes up a little bit, then it comes down a little bit, and then it evens out, normally evens out by the end of the day. That's not what happened. Bitcoin went sub $100,000. Sub $100,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because that's not what normally would have happened. So now we've got to figure out, or the government's got to figure out, are they going to shut down or are they not? And then when is it that they go on vacation again? Again, they get paid. They get paid, and I don't think there is a politician right now at the federal level that isn't worried, that they don't have to worry. Not only do they make their salaries, but they all make money trading stocks. That's something I thought should have gone away a long time ago. If the president can't trade stocks, nobody in government should be able to trade stocks because they have access to too much insider information. Any insider information. If we had access, if the normal U.S. citizen had access to the information they have access to, we would get thrown in jail for insider trading. So they're not worried. So they're okay with not having a budget until whenever, inconveniencing everybody else. Again, this has tremendous economic impact. And it's going to send ripples. I said before that I wasn't really expecting an economic faux pas by the new regime until at least after the inauguration. Apparently, I think we might have one now. You might have one now. If the government shuts down, the new regime has a brand new faux pas that they're going to have to deal with, on top of what's expected to be harsh cuts when they get into office. Harsh cuts. Just saying, there are a lot of things that they want to do that are contradictory. And that could have long-term effects. We should be paying attention. So here's hoping that they actually come up with a budget. And I don't know that he's renegotiating, that he wants them to renegotiate for the sake of renegotiating or because the deal was bad. But I recall a tweet coming out yesterday by somebody that's the wealthiest, supposedly. And he said this bill shouldn't pass, and it didn't. So who's the House Speaker? Just wondering. Just wondering. Then you have Blockchain Gaming Alliance saying that, play to earn games are taking a dive. Why are they taking a dive, though? I think this could be for a good reason. People are actually focusing on integration and not gaming. I mean, don't get me wrong, gaming's not totally gone away, right? But they're saying there has been a significant drop. A significant drop. So I'm kind of like, that's interesting. So the money didn't leave the space. I mean, except for obviously the downturn in market price and everything else. But what you're seeing right now is, I would say, maturity. I would chalk it up to maturity. Then you have the Solana dApp ecosystem soaring about $365 million. 100 million of it alone came from Pump.fun, Pump.fun, which however you say it. But $100 million came from Pump.fun. The rest of it, 83.7% of it, DeFi. DeFi blew up. And you want to know what part had a big hand in that? Binance has a product, BNSOL, BNSOL. Its total value locked rose to $100 billion. About 10% of Solana. I'm just saying, you've got to pay attention to some of these details because they're really telling. They're really telling. So here's something to contemplate. That was November. I wonder what the numbers are going to be for December. Big difference. I think there's going to be a big difference in what goes on in the numbers that we get from December. Like, I think it could be drastic. Because memes are, by all accounts, memes are falling off. So if memes are falling off, what happens? Well, what happens is, Pump.fun takes a drop down. So the $100 million that they got last month probably isn't going to happen this month, or might not happen this month. But at some point, we're going to see a decline in meme action. And if you see that decline in meme action, you're going to see a decline in Solana. It's just the way it works. Because $100 million is not something you can thumb your nose at. It really isn't. The good news is that, maybe they'll make it up with BNSOL. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And like I said, Arthur Hayes is actually thinking around the inauguration or after, there's going to be a stark decline in Bitcoin. And he's saying there's going to be a stark decline in Bitcoin because he thinks it's going to be chalked up to unrealized investor expectations. Now, if you take a step back and you actually think about this, investor expectations are actually really high. They're actually really, really, really high. Think about what everybody's expecting. We're expecting the United States government to turn around on a dime and all of a sudden have a Bitcoin reserve. Or what I discussed last night, something that they could call a Bitcoin reserve. Because one of the things that the new regime said is, well, we want to take all of the coin that we've taken back or confiscated and keep that as a Bitcoin reserve. Using the word does not make it what you think it is. Right? Because I don't think the Federal Reserve is interested in using Bitcoin as a reserve. So there's conflict there. So that conflict will be there until Powell leaves office. And he has no plan of leaving office until his contract is up. And the president can't fire him. That's law. Can't fire him. You can't even make his life difficult. Can't even do that. Because it would be too obvious and that would be a problem. So yeah, well, you never know what this guy's going to do. He seems to think that's a good thing. I don't. Outgoing RBI Governor, the Reserve Bank of India, Governor Shaktikanta Das. I think that's how you pronounce the name. I could be drastically wrong, and I apologize. Emphasizes the use of a CBDC in India, citing innovation. And I'm sitting back and I'm going, is that why you could be, exiting? Because nobody on the planet wants a CBDC except for governments. You never hear about the average person saying, oh, can you please give me a CBDC? I would love for you to govern how I use my money. Say what now? Because that's what a CBDC is. CBDCs do not introduce innovation. Straight crypto introduces integration. A CBDC is a government's version of crypto. And it would give them far too much power. Far too much power. So I think that would be a horrible idea. Horrible idea. Again, I haven't heard banks beg for CBDCs. I have not heard retail investors beg for CBDCs. I have not heard high net worth individuals scream for CBDCs. I haven't heard from VC capital or venture capital rather, or private equity, or I haven't heard anybody from anywhere outside of the government talking about a CBDC is the way to go. Haven't seen that yet. So when I sit back and I think about it, I'm kind of like, what are you guys smoking? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. They want to control their people. Oh, okay. That's the plan. If that's the plan, that's the way to go. I don't think that's going to be the plan. I think it's a bad idea. But we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, we'll see what happens. Then we've got Chainalysis making a really smart move. They've purchased Hexagate, which is a blockchain security firm. Not bad. You want to know why? Last year, there was, $4.57 billion worth of fraud, crypto fraud. And Chainalysis is like, yeah, we're going to shore up our security by buying a security firm. We're going to use that security firm to shore up, our offerings, right? Because they do business with others, as well as shore up our own internal operations. That's one of the smartest things they could have done. They're going to be integrating artificial intelligence tools to combat hacks and fraud. Hell yeah. I've been watching Chainalysis for a while. Very smart company. They make very smart moves. Very, very smart moves. If I can invest in them, I would. I mean, it's a really smart company. And we need them. We absolutely need them and other companies like them. Then you have Binance.us or Binance US. This struck me. Binance US, their CEO, John, I forgot his last name, came out and said that, yeah, we're going to go and try to relaunch. I'm just trying to look up his name while I'm speaking. We're going to go and try to relaunch in 2025 in the United States. I'm sorry, his name is Norman Reed. There you go. Norman Reed, the CEO of Binance US, says that he's going to try to relaunch in 2025. That's actually not shocking. My prediction was that they would come back, or at least try to come back, and external exchanges would try to enter the market. That's what I'm thinking of. And I'm like, okay, so that's kind of to be expected, because everybody has high expectations from the new regime because they're all about crypto. I made a comment last night that I don't think people paid attention to. Actually, some people paid attention to it, but other people might have missed it. Again, and I said it this morning. Calling something a reserve does not make it a reserve. Confiscated funds, confiscated assets do not make them a reserve. The Federal Reserve makes it a reserve. You could have something like a reserve, but it's I don't know that we're actually going to be able to make it a reserve. But even with that pseudo reserve, even with that, you still have many other countries saying that they want to create a Bitcoin reserve because of that. That's more than just a big deal. That's very much more than there's a big deal. So you see the contradiction that's happening right now. We want to boost innovation. We want to boost the economy and all that good stuff. But then on the other hand, we've got no budget deal on the table for the United States right now. The government can shut down within 7 days, or in 6 days, actually. 6 days. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going, yeah, there's your faux pas. There's your misstep. And I hope somebody's saying to them, yeah, we better get in touch with the common person that we keep saying that we're just like, even though we're worth billions, and think about what kind of impact that's going to have during the holiday season. One of the biggest travel seasons ever, right? Throughout the year. And you have to stop and think about this. So people are going to travel or be traveling, and TSA agents have to work even though they're not getting paid. I don't feel so good. There are high expectations of the new regime, even from me. And this could prove to be more than just a little bit of a problem. More than just an itty bitty little bit of a problem. So that's something to think about. That's a lot to think about, actually. A lot to think about. So Arthur Hayes' idea that unrealized expectations of the new regime could actually cause Bitcoin to drop, he's got a point. I don't necessarily agree, but his perspective, he's got a point. There are chances of that. And we could be seeing a glimpse of that right now. We really could. So an economic misstep by the new regime, as is going on right now, has already demonstrated that Bitcoin can go sub $100,000. It has since bounced back. Right now, it's at 102,308. But when I first woke up this morning, actually, when I woke up at like 3:30, it was at 101. It had started creeping back up, which is what it's doing now. And yeah, yesterday I went out and I bought. I went out and I bought yesterday when everything was starting to go down. One of the community members said he had a buy order put in for 98,000. And I have to find out if they got it or not, because that would be amazing. Because that's a sale. That's a sale. That's a drop from 108 to 98, give or take, right? That is what's called a sale. A massive $10,000 sale. So something to think about. I can't believe I'm just sitting here all this time. No watermark, no nothing. But you know what we should be doing anyway? We should actually go over the numbers. So let's do that. Let's move on over. And let's start with the GMB crypto tracker losers, okay? Updates every little bit, so I don't have to worry about that. And you've got a lot going on. There's been a lot of news about Peanut the squirrel and then the court case and all that good stuff. It's down over 66.68% from its all-time high. It's got a 2.0 GMBX factor. Oof. I don't know if that's survivable. I don't know. Popcat is down at 18%, a 1.53 GMBX factor. Excuse me. Nero is down 18.24% with a GMBX factor of 1.64. Gotius Maximus is down 14%. Floki is down 13%. Floki being down 13% and only having a 0.82 GMBX factor is actually not bad. I think Floki is going to do well when everything starts coming back. People sleep on Floki, and I don't know why. It's worth $1.8 billion. Just saying, just putting that out there for you so you have an idea. ORDI is down 12%, 12.8%. GMBX factor 2.32. SATS ordinals is down 12.7%. GMBX factor 4.04. SATS has a long way to go to come back. Lido is down 11.36%, GMBX factor of 3.01. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance is down 1.42%, a GMBX factor of 1.43. I think they can come back. I think that could actually do well. It's that whole artificial intelligence space, and they've got a lot of that space covered in terms of what facets of that space they cover. So I'm still liking them. Aerodrome Finance is down 10%, 10.98% to be exact. And then it's got a GMBX factor of 0.42. 0.42 is not actually bad. Who else is down? Pepe is down 10.91%, GMBX factor of 0.45. Yeah, because Pepe was on the rise. So this is a pain in the tail, but it was on the rise before. Winners, let's go down the list. Let's see. All right, so winners, if you look at my 5% rule, stops right here at number 5. There are only 5 winners right now. Some project called Usual, never heard of it, up 36%. So it's brand spanking new. It's brand spanking new. So I don't know about that. Wouldn't be able to tell you anything, but with a over $562 million market cap, that's a big move. That's a big move. Fartcoin is still up 17.66% with a GMBX factor of 0.08. Think about that. Fartcoin is not that old. It's just a great freaking name, I'm telling you. I wish I'd have come up with that. It's an outstanding name. BitGet token, BGB, up 9.19% with a GMBX factor of 0.04. Why? Why? I don't know why. But BitGet's token is popping. Absolutely popping. I've heard a lot about Move. I don't know what they do, but they're all over the news. 6.47% with a GMBX factor of 0.99. I guess maybe I should find out what they do, but I'm not making a slot for movement. Let's see who else. That's it. That is it, because we have the 5% rule. Yeah, we got the economic data. What are we getting today? We'll get jobless claims today, GDP second revision, some Fed speak. Okay, that's nice. Personal income comes out on Friday, PCE index, all that good stuff. So that's another economic indicator that we should be paying attention to. The fear and greed index, we're at 75. Not bad. Given what's going on in the past 24 hours, not bad. But total value locked is actually down over $5 billion to $145 billion. Not happy about that. We need to keep moving toward 200. Bitcoin, I can show you the chart. Look at that. But we seem to be trying to edge our way up. Let me just zoom in a little bit so you can see what's going on. But I'm actually not freaking out. Why is that? Between 99, 655 and 107, 780. Actually, the high is a little bit higher than that, right? The high for Bitcoin is now 108, 268.45. But I wanted to keep that line there so that we could actually see, right? Wrong window. We could actually see what's going on, but we seem to be inching up. So we could see what's going on. Volume, I think, is going to start picking up. Right now, it's still very, very, very low. Right? So a little bit of movement can move it in either direction. So we have to wait to see what else happens. But so far, we know that Asia was awake. We know that Europe was awake. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as we go forward. Then you're looking at it at the big board and you sit back. Again, this is one of those things that I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, to me, I'm looking dead at SHIB. Why? Because SHIB just a day ago, a little over a day or so, was at 40 cents. So if I was to buy, Doge, if I was to buy Doge right now, it went up to 40 cents. That's a 10% move in a heartbeat, isn't it? When the market comes back, Doge is up to 40 cents. That's a greater than 10% move. Are you looking at it like that? Because I sure as heck am. If I get into SHIB was in the 30s. I could get into SHIB right now and make money. Same thing with Pepe, but Pepe's riding kind of high, so I'd probably be looking at Doge and SHIB. But again, this is why I use the GMB crypto tracker, so I can actually see this information laid out for me. I can see it laid out for me and go, oh, I should be investing here, here, and here, right? Because I'd be able to say, well, you know, I like the X factor. I can compare X factors and see what the story is. And then I can say, well, I know I want to be into these particular spaces or industries within crypto, and I can select the highest GMBX factor or the most probable GMBX factor based on that particular industry and based on my gut that I think that that particular coin is going to wind up doing well. See what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. So then if you just want to look at the number straight across, you can see things starting to come back. Starting to wake up, a little bit less of a hit, but we'll see. We still have a long way to go to get back to 108. But I'm not paying attention to the 108, right? I'm not paying attention to Bitcoin and its 108. I'm paying attention to the altcoins because they're going to go up more. They're going to drop more. They're going to go up more. And I'm about maximizing my money. So yesterday was a Bitcoin and SUI day for me. I bought into SUI. And I think SUI's going to start. I think SUI's going to wind up in the top 10. I think SUI's going to wind up in the top 10. And right now, SUI's at 429, right? Its all-time high is $4.93. So I put another bet on SUI. So I'm all right with that. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, hit the notification bell so you know when I'm dropping new videos, right? Become a member. The big bagger meetings, those private video conference calls are awesome. The amount of information that we're sharing amongst each other is amazing. It's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't talk about during my normal lives and during my normal morning shows. Even on the Sunday show, I don't talk about what we talk about in the big baggers meeting. And there's a lot of information floating around there. So if you're getting value from my shows now, you would have even more value if you became a big bagger. Anyway, everybody, I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.